Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping, coming to you from Middleton, Wisconsin, right outside of Madison. Today is January, what is it? The 8th already of 2025. And it's our first paper pumpkin workshop of the year. I'll be working on the December 2024 uh, paper pumpkin kit that is called Notes from the Heart. They are absolutely gorgeous floral cards. There are 9 cards in this kit, and it's filled with awesome sentiments. So, as we get started, today is the second day that we are able to be shopping from the new mini catalog. Started today and goes through May, one of the first days of May. And in the back of this catalog is the information about paper pumpkin. Now, what I want to make sure is that you understand how you can get paper pumpkin if this is something you're interested in. When I ask members of the Plum Crazy Stamping community what are the things that challenge them, one of the very frequent answers to that question is project ideas. That, along with I'm not very creative, or I'm not very good at stamping, or as I said, I can't think up any projects. Paper Pumpkin helps to solve that project. If you're looking for a project all laid out, instructions are available, all the parts and pieces that you need to actually get paper crafting, Paper Pumpkin is the answer. Not only can you use the ideas that the company provides for you in this kit, just like you're going to see today, you can use the project and even add your own imagination and creative flair and make additional cards using these pieces with the other supplies you already have in your stash, which is what I'm going to tell you today. But the other thing is, remember, Celebration has started. So whenever you order something from Stampin' Up, whether it be stamp sets, ink, a kit collection, something from the kit collection, paper, something from the new scrapbooking brochure, or Paper Pumpkin, you can earn free products. So one of the things that I thought I would do is just share with you. Let me go ahead and flip this down so you can see the desktop here. And if you'd like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin so that you know that it's coming, and also you can manage your Paper Pumpkin subscription by getting some sneak peeks as to what's coming the next month, you can decide if you want to pass or you actually want to get that project. So if you just go month to month and decide, yes, I like this one, or I just want to order one Paper Pumpkin, it costs $25 a month, and that includes shipping. But if you'd like to do a prepaid subscription, like let's say you have somebody that you want to either gift yourself or someone else 1 month of Paper Pumpkin, you can get it for $24. That person will get a redemption code and can order any month that they like. What is the project for that month? You can also buy ahead in either 3 months, 6 months, or 12-month increments. And as you do that, you actually get a break in the cost of each kit. So let's say 3 months for $71, you're actually getting the kits for $23.60 each. And if you buy your subscription before February 28th, you would get a free Celebration item. A 6-month subscription would be $130.50, which means the kit is costing you $21.75, and you get 2 free Celebration gifts. And if you want the 12-month subscription, which I told you for years, that's what my husband has gifted me at Christmas. every month I get a present from him. He's saving money because he's getting every kit for $21. Or let's say you pay for 11 kits and you get one free. Plus, he always does this during celebration. So I'm going to get 4 celebration items free. So this is my favorite time of year. It's always when I get my subscription, and I have a gift coming every month of the year. So if you have any further questions about that, don't hesitate to contact me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. All right, let's get in to today's project. And I'm going to be featuring one of the free celebration items in the project when I make alternatives today. And let me show you what I'm going to choose to use is the Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper. So this is 12 sheets of 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. And I chose this because Blackberry Bliss is one of the coordinating colors with this month's kit. So I can't wait to show that to you. We'll pop that out of the way. Here is the instruction kit that comes with the paper pumpkin. You always get a full color instruction sheet. It shows you all of the 9 cards that are included in this project. You flip it over. It shows you the parts and pieces. It shows you a additional small set of dies you can order. It has a QR code where you can watch a video to be reminded how to put this kit together. And it lists the coordinating colors. And that's how I decided what I wanted to add to this when I did alternatives today. You know, it was listing Blackberry Bliss, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Pretty in Pink, Very Vanilla, and Gold. So let's go ahead, and before I open the instruction sheet, let's look at what I got in my kit. So I received, these are card bases. They're all die cut and scored and ready to go. And there are obviously 9 of them. There are envelopes. This is a beautiful Mossy Meadow, and there are 9 of those. Then they added stickers this month. And there is a sticker that will go on the front of the envelope to just help set it off a little bit. And I got enough for 9 envelopes. Then there are die cuts. So I've got labels for my sentiments. Kind of keep them in their piles here. I have a main image that's going to be for each of the card fronts that I'm going to make. And there is an additional die cut piece of vellum that is going to be accenting each of these cards. I then got a free Stampin' Spot. So there's always at least one Stampin' Spot with every kit. This month is Blackberry Bliss. I received these gems to actually embellish the cards. I got a dimensionals and tear and tape as the adhesives, and they always provide adhesive too, so you have that. And the first time you order Paper Pumpkin, you get a free acrylic block to adhere your stamps for stamping. Now, the artwork on this stamp set this month is all of these great sentiments. So, you know, I'm going to keep this close at hand all year because it covers all the areas that I would need. I love the font. It's a nice size. And so that's what is part of this kit. So I'm going to be using almost all of those sentiments between the kit projects and my alternatives today. So let me just kind of set these parts and pieces aside until we get to the part of the presentation where I do the alternative. The other little thing I'll just show you is when my paper pumpkin shows up, it always is wrapped in tissue paper, so I feel like I'm getting a present. I absolutely love presents, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just move these other parts and pieces out of my way. And one of the nice things that they do in the instructions as you first open it is they tell you what parts and pieces of the kit need to be for project 1, project 2, and project 3. So I've already gathered these together in the envelope so that as we go through today's presentation, I can just be doing it a project at a time. I'm going to do one of each of the 3 cards that they've designed for us. So let's go ahead and start with number 1. I'll just remind you that the stamp set that is in the paper pumpkin kit is photopolymer. So I will be using a pierce mat to make sure that I do really good stamping, right? And I'm going to pull together, let's get the parts and pieces out for this first card project. See if they all came out here. I've got the card base. Yep. So the envelope, the first thing I'm going to do is each of these, and I'm only going to do this once, has this label. That's going to make this envelope look just a little extra special. So I'm just going to center that on my envelope, and then this is scored, and my envelope is ready to go. So I can set that off to the side here. And then I have the card base, which also is already scored for me. And I'll get my bone folder out here. And let's see, who's here today? Hi, Betty. Hi, Kathy. And so I'll just remind you, if you're watching on Facebook, please use the comments to sign in. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're on YouTube, please make sure you're in your Google account or your YouTube account, and you can use your comments to also let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and give me feedback or ask questions. I'm here to help you with your stamping and your paper crafting. So I love to hear from you while we're live together. All right, so we've got our first card base, and now I'm going to take my first label here and just get the sentiment on here. So let me go ahead and find that stamp. Let's see, this is Happy Birthday. So I have that already mounted on here. I'm actually going to use my, set things to the side. I'm going to use my full-size pad for this. I save my little stamping spots for when I go to stamp camp or go to crops. And I'm actually going in 2 weeks is my first stamp camp for this year, where I work on a whole bunch of content, getting ready for the card making lessons and the classes and videos that I do for you all year long. So I'm really excited to get there and get working on projects to share with you. So let's just center this and just push and don't rock the stamp, right? You just push straight down and pull straight up. And we've got our first sentiment stamped. Then I'm going to get the pierce mat just out of the way temporarily. And we can put the adhesive on the back of our die cut pieces. So I have the vellum. Isn't that gorgeous? Die cut. And I have the first floral. And I need my take your pick tool here because there are a couple of little spots that I need to poke out from this die cut. So they make us work a little bit, right? But these beautiful die cuts already, the images are there. Makes doing this very easy. Okay, so we've got that die cut. And now they have a unique way that they're suggesting we do our adhesive. So if you can see, they show exactly where to put tear and tape. They show where to put dimensionals by having these white circles. And if this kit doesn't have it, but if it did have mini glue dots, then it would have little black dots. And it also kind of clues you into placement, because one of the things with this tear and tape, number one, it will be invisible underneath the vellum. So using tear and tape or mini glue dots, you would see dimensionals, so you wouldn't put that behind these areas of vellum that will show from the front. But they're suggesting here that we just use 2 strips of tear and tape. So that's what I'm going to do. So, first I want to see, how do I want to set this? And I'll kind of look at the diagram of how they're putting this together. Let's see. Man, I'm going to put it to the side just a little bit, see if it will still fit on here. Yes, it still fits. So you see just a little bit more of those beautiful leaves that are cut out. And then I'll turn this right upside down and I'll put my tear and tape on. So this is so easy to use. You don't have to worry about a scissors because it truly is tear and tape. So let's see, it's suggesting that we do it down on this lower edge. So I'm going to just tear that off. And I'm going to make sure that I'm covering the back of the die cut image and the vellum. And now I'm going to go across the top and do that same thing. So I'll kind of estimate how much I need. And then lay that across where there are no openings. All right. And then I'm going to take the covering, the paper covering off the adhesive here. And you can do this with your fingernail, or your take your pick tool really works for this too. All right. And then I'm going to just center this right on the white card. Okay, and then I'm going to put the dimensionals on the back of the sentiment label as suggested here. Now they have 3 on there. I think I just need 2. So I'll be putting that on there and taking that paper adhesive off. Hi, Mary Jane. Nice to see you. Bonita. Great to see you. North Dakota. Mary Jane, where is Peach Bottom? I'll guess Georgia, but I'm probably wrong. All right, and then I'm going to put the sentiment on here. And now let me just get a hold of my gems for a little embellishing. And they actually even show in the diagram where they suggest that those go. I kind of like how they line those up, so I think I'll take their suggestion. Got a little adhesive on my take your pick tool here. Let's go ahead and we'll put one down here towards the bottom. And I like using the idea of an odd number of embellishments. So I'm going to put 3 on this card. Now, sometimes I don't always follow that, but I will this time. All right, we've got that. And there is our first project. And isn't it surprising just what the vellum adds to this? So that is card number 1. And I'm just going to set them out of our way right now and go ahead and pull together card number 2. And I'm going to do my stamping. You know what? I think I'll go ahead and do the stamping for card number 2 and number 3 so I can close my ink and not get something on it, right? Okay, so I'll just set this one aside. Oh, actually, I do have, I'll do this envelope again as I put all my parts and pieces together. I really like this. It really adds to these envelopes, I think. There we go with the second envelope. Set that off to the side. Kind of get my cards ready here. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is actually a floral design very faintly on the top of this card that is a floral in a very, very light Daffodil Delight. So in person, you can see it. It may be difficult to see on the card. I'm going to just set the parts for the second card over here. And here is what we're going to be stamping. And let me get out card number 3. And we'll put that envelope together here. There's that envelope. And I'll put the die cuts over here for this one. Get this card front ready. All right, let's set those aside, and I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat again, and we'll put our sentiment labels here that we're going to be stamping. Let me get my ink pad back over here. And now this time we're going to do just a note. So we'll ink this one up. I just love Blackberry Bliss. It's a beautiful color. And you know, they picked what I would pick to go with it is Mossy Meadow. Gosh, that's such a nice deep green color. There we go with that one. And then the other one we're going to do is Thank You. I'm just being careful that I am getting the ink all the way on the letters, but not the corner of my blocks. All right. I'm going to move this just a little closer to me. It's easier to line it up if I can see looking over it. And there's our thank you. All right, now we're ready to assemble the other 2 cards. So let's pull in the first and put together this beautiful fern and the vellum for that, making sure that that shows through. Okay, and I'm going to flip it over so I can do my Terran tape and kind of go across the bottom here with one piece. Oh, let me get them both on here. And then go up at a diagonal on this other one. This is unique. I have not done the Terran tape in person. If you go past the solid image, it does show a little shiny behind the image. So I would try not to do it, outside of the solid image. But I like putting the vellum on the back of it all in one fell swoop here instead of having to do adhesive twice. All right, so then let's center this one up in the middle of our card. And we'll go ahead and put the dimensionals on the back of our sentiment label here. Now, these are very easy cards to do. This would be a wonderful set for a newbie, or you're going to see if you are more an advanced stamper and would like some additional opportunity to use techniques and your skills that you have. That's what I'm going to show you in the second part of today's presentation. So, you know what? It would really work for all levels of stampers. I like that they do make it so that it's something that people can get started and just even get used to. Do you remember back when you started, just how do you use the ink? How do you stamp things up? And how challenging that could be. So this can meet us wherever we may be in our stamping skills, right? All right. So there is our second card. And once again, when you put that against the background of these envelopes, just beautiful. And that vellum really does help it shine. And you know, now you can buy vellum that has, you know, patterns to it or color, which can really add something as well. All right, let's bring in the third card. And we've got vellum for behind this one. And I have to punch out a couple of, maybe just one spot on this one for the die cut. And we have our sentiment already done. Let's go ahead and line this up and then flip it over. To do the adhesive. I like that they put this in here and kind of encouraged us to do the adhesive just a little bit differently. Let's see, I think I tore off a little too much. Just shorten this a little bit. There we go. That one didn't want to come off with my fingernail. Take your pick tool. If you don't have one, I would get it as a gift for yourself because it's a gift that keeps on giving. Let's go ahead and center this. And then we'll put some dimensionals on the back of this. Now, I actually picked up on this floral image is the one that made me decide to use Blackberry Bliss on my alternative cards. I thought it was so pretty. So, and now let's go back to our, I'm going to use a bigger one this time down here on the bottom. And then take two smaller ones and come up here towards the top. All right. So there is the third project. So let me get the instructions out of the way. And you can see all three of these cards. And now the nice thing is if there's a kit that you really like, many times they will have refill kits. So you'll already have the stamp set, but you can buy more envelopes, cards, you know, the sentiment labels, the images, the vellum. You can buy all of that again and make more of the same type of cards. The only way you can get access, though, to refills is by being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So that's the three projects. Now I can't wait to show you the alternatives. It's going to be kind of stepping it up a little bit. move these to the side. All right. So the thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to try to get more out of the kit. So when I looked at this paper, the base, the card base, I thought, you know what? This is so large that if I add it to some designer series paper and I add some of my own cardstock, I can feature the card front images on this, but I can make 4 card fronts out of 1 card base. So I'm just going to cut this into 4 using my trimmer. So I'm going to line it up right on the score line here. So I'm going to be ending up cutting this to 4 by 5 1/4, or 5 1/2, I'm sorry. So just right down that line. And then I'm going to cut this in half. So I just measured this to be 5 1/4. So 2 5/8 is going to be exactly in half. So I'm just going to line this up at 2 5/8, which is just 1/8 over 2 1/2. And I'm going to do it on this one side and then the other side. Two and 5/8. Okay. All right, so I've got the 4 card fronts I'm going to use. I'll just set those aside. And then what I decided to use is, since I'm making 1 card into 4 cards, I'm going to take this one, is going to have a special envelope. So this is kind of what I'm going to show you towards the end. But what I did is, and you can decorate any way you want, I decided to decorate the front of this. So you're getting a little sneak peek of some of the things I'll be doing in the other cards. But I'm going to use the 1 envelope that belongs with this. And then I'm taking the 1 image set that belongs with this. I have the sentiment label that belongs with the kit, or this card project, right? One of the card projects. I have 1/4 of the card front. And then this is the designer series paper that I decided to cut down from the free celebration. And this one is a regular card front size of 4 by 5 1/4. And then I just have my regular half a sheet of colored cardstock, Blackberry Bliss. This measures 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down to the card front. Oh, I just stuck it in the glue. Things slide, right? I have so much stuff on my desktop here, I got to be careful. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to center this. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want to place my piece of the card front. I'm going to put it up here in the corner because I'm going to be putting my image down here towards the bottom. So let me put this together just like I did before. This one's going to look very similar, but just done a bit differently. And I'll go ahead and use the same method of using my tear and tape. Okay. And by making 4 cards out of 1 card, I'm also decided I'm going to make sets of cards that I can give to people because I'm going to have so many additional. I'll literally have 9 sets of cards, right? So lots that I can share with others. Let's go ahead and just glue this up top of the card base. And I'm going to put this making sure I don't go, oh, I did go a little over the edge. Well, it'll be fine. If it gets crinked a little bit in the envelope, that's all right. I don't think it will. I think I'll have a little bit of space. Let's go ahead and do our stamping here. Now I'm going to take another one of the sentiments. Let's see. I think this one's going to be lots of love. Well, hi, Betty. Hi, Holly and Joan. Nice to see you. Let's go ahead and I'll tell you, that was moving a little bit. I guess it turned out almost straight. They'll know it's for real and it's art because it's not quite perfect, right? And I always say that's art. All right. And I'm going to kind of center this on the bottom there. So now that's using basically what was on the card set, but stepping it up, right? Stepping it up by having this be a little smaller and adding the designer series paper in the background. As far as now inside the card, I want to do white, but I'll tell you what, I am going to use some of the scraps that I have here. I'm actually going to glue this right on the bottom for inside the card because I don't want any naked cards, right? Not on the inside, not on the envelope. We're going to spice them all up. I'm going to go ahead and glue this right directly on the bottom. I love that I have a little wiggle room when I use my multi-purpose glue. And then I'm going to glue this inside. All right, so there we have a beautiful inside of the card, beautiful envelope, and there's the first alternative. I'm going to set these up, and I'll show them to you when I'm done. All right, so then what I wanted to do is, I recognized that I thought I had a flower stamp that kind of matched the flowers in this designer series paper. So I went into my stash and I found Puddle Park. This was a stamp set that was in last year's annual catalog. I think you can get the sister stamp, but not necessarily Petal Park this year. But anyway, this matched perfectly these flowers. So I decided I wanted to do some stamping when I made this next card. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp on what I have cut out for the card front. So let me just put this in place. And I need some scrap paper behind it because I might scrap or go off line a little bit here. Let's see. Well, this is scrap paper. I'm sorry, it's very messy. But we'll have that there. And I am going to go with one of the colors in here, not the Blackberry Bliss. Let me close this temporarily here. But I'm going to use another color that's included in this designer series paper is Petunia Pop. So that's one of the in colors from this year, as is Shy Shamrock. So I'm going to use, these are two-step stamping. I'm going to go with the closed design because that matches this paper the best. And so I have the Shy Shamrock for my leaves, and I'm going to do Petunia Pop for my flowers. And let me first grab the leaf, and I'm going to take the ink to the stamp upside down because it's such a large stamp. And make sure I get everything inked up well. I'm sure that I want to be on the pierce mat, and I make sure that I am under it. It's not hanging over the edge like it is right there. And I'm just going to stamp this right kind of towards the top of this a little bit. And just press nice because this is a solid design. But because I have the photopolymer stamp, putting it on the pierce mat helps the solid design to stamp. You know, you can get away with sometimes the sentiments not being on the pierce mat, but these full image stamps, you absolutely need that pierce mat for the cushion to get a great imprint. All right, so we've got that done. Now let's go ahead and use the Petunia Pop for the flowers. Okay, and now I need to line up where this is going to go. The biggest flower being here, and then the two flowers filling in those other gap areas. And then stamping. And there we go with that stamped image. And then I just took a scrap. I don't know about you, but when I'm cutting card fronts, I always have this seam, and I think it's 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, or is it a half? Oh, it's a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to use one of those to create my sentiment. And then this one I'm going to put best of luck. And I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm going to get my Blackberry Bliss back out here. And I'm going to use the sentiment to match the cardstock. Okay, and I'll just center that. And I don't know if I want to make a banner yet or not when I'm doing this, so I'm going to leave myself the option. All right, so then when I'm putting this together, so I had another scrap. The front of this, let's go ahead and just get our inside put together, and we'll get everything glued in place here. Well, this time I'm going to leave a little gap between the side of the page and where I put my stripe, because I think that'll look nice on the darker colored paper. Okay, and it seems like I have to do just a little trimming here. Okay, and let's glue this right inside our card. So I want to show you just a different way that you can finish off the insides of the cards. Just like I'm going to show you different envelopes too. All right, so let's go ahead and just center this inside the card. And see what I just added some more design by sliding that over instead of making it flush with the side there. Let's get this out of there, it's distracting. Okay, and now we're going to adhere the front of our card base. Now this is actually 3 3/4 by 5 inches, so there's a broader frame of the dark colored cardstock around it. And I did that on purpose just for a little variety to let you know you can decide different measurements as you're making these. You know, I try to get some variety in what I'm doing. Also, sometimes I have a little less paper, and so I need to change my dimensions. Okay, we've got that. Now I get to decide, you know, how do I want to center this and how do I want to I think with this one, I'm going to put this towards the top, but leave a little area, and then I'm going to put my sentiment right across there. So sometimes I like butting it up. Sometimes I want to leave a little area around it. And sometimes I forget what I'm doing and it ends up where it ends up. So it's art. Oh, thanks, Holly. I'm glad you're loving this. All right, let's go ahead and I tell you what, I'm going to trim just a little bit off of each side of this. Now the question is, do I want it to go across and butt up, or do I want it to... No, I don't want it to. I'm going to make a little banner and make it a little shorter. And the easiest way is just clip in the middle and then go from the corner to the center and the corner to the center. And you're making a banner, right? And same thing on the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to pop that up. This is kind of long. You know, you can decide, are you worried that it might slump a little in the middle, or do you want to make sure it's up straight across? This time I want to make sure it's straight across. I'm going to put 3 dimensionals. All right, so there is our second card. All right, where did it go? Okay, so card 2. And then to snap up this envelope a little bit, I just decided to do that right on the front. So we've got another choice. Okay, that's number 2. Now let's go with This stamp set actually, just need to move these out of the way, has a matching punch. And so at the time I bought it, this was a bundle. Oh, it's hard to see that, isn't it? It is flowers, 3 flowers, and a leaf. Okay. And then when I'm doing a project like this, I'm anticipating, well, I use 3 cards. So I'm really only going to be making 8 by 4 cards. So 32 cards. So I decided to sit down and use that punch. And I used Blackberry Bliss. I used Petunia Pop, some white. Then I did the Shy Shamrock. And then I took my 1/4-inch punch and I made flower centers out of all 3 colors. So this was so easy. Just right along. Okay, and then I just empty them out, and I've got more flower centers. Where I was doing the flowers and punching them, I went right in between, and I didn't end up wasting any paper because I got all of these flower centers right out of what could have been throwaway. So always look at these and see what you can get out of them. So I liked that I could get that out of the scraps. And put a little more in there. All right. And then for the leaf, now because this punch, all right, where did I set the punch? There it is. You're kind of going to have to go at an angle to get the leaf cut out. So I measured the width of the leaf, and it was about 1 inch. So this paper is just a smidge over 1 inch. And I'm going to actually feed this through so that I start where I have the full cardstock. And I'm going to make my first leaf. And then I'm going to thread this through. Now, this is going to be cutting a little extra, but it doesn't matter as long as I'm making sure I have the full amount of cardstock to do the leaves. Let me show you. Oops. And it'll sometimes get stuck in there. But once I've punched my image, I don't care what happens to this part, right? So you keep feeding it through and you make a whole bunch of leaves. But that's how you do it instead of going into a full piece of cardstock, because you would be making green flowers. And you just want to make the leaves at this point in time. And I always punch upside down so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm getting the best use of my cardstock, and it's easier to punch this way too. And I can use 2 hands if I need to. So just a little tip there on how to do punching when you have more than one image on your punch. We'll just push that off to the side. And I've just got them in here because if I move this around too much or I drop it, I don't have them all over the floor. Well, if I drop it on the floor, I'm going to have them everywhere, but just trying to keep my workspace tidy because I can't find things sometimes. All right, so now we're going to use these that I made as a part of our project. So let's go to card number 3. I'm going to move the stamp set out of the way. And this one, I decided to do little differently. So once again, I've got more the broad border on this one. So this is 3 1/4 by 5 for the card front. I've got another little scrap here. I'm going to go ahead and glue in here. Why waste any of this? It just adds such a nice accent inside your card. This time I'm going to put it on the inside. But I'm going to leave the little stripe again. Now, if you got shorter pieces, you can put it on the top and bottom, right? I just want to remind those of you that might be interested in doing some mystery stamping on Thursday as a January gift to all of you that are part of my Plum Crazy Stamping community. I'm going to be doing a free 2-hour crop where the beginning is going to be making a mystery card. And that means I'll give you some basic measurements and you're going to take things out of your own stash and you're going to follow along like with tutorial instructions to make a card. And then we're going to see how alike or different all our cards look. I think it's going to be really fun. So that is here on my website or it's in my email. And just watch for that and sign up. And if you can't find a sign up, because I'll be sending you a Zoom link, we're going to do it on Zoom so we can all chat together. I'd love for you to join me. And that's Thursday at 10 o'clock. Let's see. I am trying to do two things at once. Let me just get the sentiment on here. So once again, free to you, something I'm trying out new. I'm going to want your feedback and see if you like that experience. So that's why I'm doing it free. And like I said, it'll be Thursday. And get together and have some fun. So just sign up. And if you can't figure out where to find the sign up, just email me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. And I'd be happy to get you on that list and have you join us in the crop. Because like I said, I'll be sending out the link probably later on Thursday. So now we're going to use the little hello, another sentiment. The fact that this has so many sentiments is awesome. All right, now I'm going to do a little decorating with flowers. And, oh no, you know what I forgot to do? Put my back on there. Let's see if I can get this off of here. Nope, it's done. So you know what? I'm going to do something else with this. So what are mistakes? I'm doing a class this month on reframing mistakes. So there is nothing that you can't fix. I'm going to make this a triangle. And it's going to create art. So mistakes actually become a whole new idea. Anyway, that class next Tuesday you'll be hearing more about too. And it's called Reframing Mistakes. So I think sometimes we get stuck in trying to be perfectionist and, oh, we should be doing something this way or that way. Well, I hope to help your mindset with that and have creativity be more fun and less stressful. So let's see if I can. I'm just going to cut this in half once and see how that works. Told you when I'm talking and doing something at the same time, you never know what I'm going to end up with. Let's see how this works. Now that looks a little odd over here. So I think what I need to do is, it's still weird here, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a pile of flowers there. And I am going to leave a little ridge around there. And the good thing is, only I knew what I had in mind. No one else does. So when they see this card, it's the way it was supposed to be. At least that's my rationale. Okay, so we've got, I want that to help me zhuzh this up a bit. And then I'm going to do my little flower pile here. Let's start by getting this one right on the bottom here. Just little dots of glue will hold this in place. And pushing on it just a moment will really help. And then I'm going to do now these flowers that I have here. There are 3 different sizes. So let me find the second. Here's the second size, I think. I'm going to put that right over the top here. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. And then I can get a medium-sized white one and put on here. All right, I'm going to leave those right now, and let's do the top. And I think I'll go with the, I'm going to start kind of the same way. So see how it's really nice to have these already punched out so I can play with my design. All right, so that's 5. That's kind of an odd number. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to do different colored centers. And so actually what I really like is another feature of your Take Your Pick tool is you have this green side, which helps you pick up gems and sequins. And it'll pick this right up. And wherever I want to put that, I'm just going to put a dot of glue. And then I can press that right in place. So it's a flower center transportation device. How does that sound? Anyway, all right, let's find another one. I think I should write that down. Flower center transportation device. You heard it here first, okay? I think my blood sugar must be dropping. I'm getting a little silly. Okay, and then let's do the last one here. And I can do the same thing now over on this other side. The other thing you could do is use pearls. You know, if you didn't want to, if you don't have a 1/4 inch punch for this, but you have some great pearls, you could add those in here as your flower centers too. Now those will dry clear, but it's a little messy. All right, let's do a dark one for this. All right, and so then I want a leaf. And I'm going to put that right. Still seems a little clumsy right here for me. So that's why I'm going to pop a leaf in there. And I'm going to slide it under flower number 3. And I think one coming out the other side would look nice. And I think I need one up here. All right, so there is card number 2. Improvised, so it doesn't have this as its layer. I actually made it pop forward You could put as many flowers on there as you want. And then the envelope for this one, I decided to just use a scrap and a little paper. And you've got envelope number 3. And then inside, we have another strip. So, Holly, I don't know if you were laughing at what I was doing, or if you liked the flower center transportation device, but either way. All right, let's do the last one for today. And okay, this time I'll make sure that I get this glued down. So I'm going to do it right away. Okay. And then I have to find one of my, where are the card fronts here? All right, I set them somewhere. There they are. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead with this one. And this time I want to butt this right up to this side. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me go ahead and stamp it first. Make sure I don't have an issue with that or I have to flip it over. I always try to do my stamping before I glue things down in case I have to use the second side of the cardstock, right? Okay, Holly, thanks for clarifying. You liked my transportation device. Me too. And let's go ahead and we've got the get well soon. And then since that worked great, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I know it's a little awkward, when I cut these that I have some smooth side and some of the scalloped edges. But when the cards are done, I don't think it really matters. I don't know that is what's going to pop out at people. Okay, well, this time I'm going to show you one of the things that was part of the design with that petal builder punch was actually making 3 tiers of a flower. So I'm going to go with the petunia pop here and find, let's see, I need all 3 sizes. All right, there's the second size, and here's the third one. And then I need, I'm going to still do some just flat ones. And I'm going to pop one of them up, though. Do I have little dimensionals here? I do. Okay, so let's build some flowers that are going to look 3 different dimensions on here. So the first one, I always start with what's going to be flat on here first. So, I'll get my little bit of glue here. And let's kind of do something right there. And we'll just put a white center in this one. And then with this little one, let's do some petunia pop here. Now the star of the show is going to be the last one here. But what I want to do with this one is get some of that glue off there. And I'm going to put just one small dimensional behind this one. Put that kind of on the corner. All right, now let's do the star of the show here. What I'm actually going to do before I glue these together, I'm going to bend these all. Now, you can take your bone folder, and I'm just flicking up the petals a little bit. Okay, so there's my base. I'm going to do the same thing with the middle. Do you ever keep track of your mistakes so you can repeat them? You know what? I make so many mistakes that it's ongoing creativity. And like I said, it's art. So good question, Kathy. Now remind me, before I'm done here, I have the winners from yesterday's catalog launch party for those that were engaged and commenting. I actually have 6 people that are going to be getting free card kits from me. So I have to remember to do that. I get a little distracted sometimes, but I will remember. I'm having you remind me too. Okay, so center. And then I'm going to put the middle one on there, and I'm going to kind of look at the way those petals line up so they're not, you know, there's a little variety there, right? And then I'll just press. Then I'm going to put it in the center again. And press. And then I need another center here. Let's pick up Blackberry Bliss, because this will match the card base. Oh, I put too much glue there. Good old Kleenex. Oh, no, I put more glue on the flower. You know, if this stays shiny when it dries, I'll add Wink Stella. Another mistake that will end up turning gorgeous, because that's shiny and glittery. Okay, so we've got that. And now, because this has the layers, I want to make them, you know, poke up a little bit. So now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to come back and fold these up a little bit. You know, because I already started doing that, this will go a little easier. I've got too much glue on my hand. You just want the 3D-ness to look, right? Is that a word? 3D-ness? The dimension probably sounds better. I can make up all kinds of words today. You guys have got me on one of my creative days. All right. So I guess you get that, right? And then this is just going to be glue in the middle because it's already got dimension. And I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to hold it in place long enough to have it not go sliding somewhere. And then I want to just add a few leaves here to set those off. Oops. I think those 2 leaves are probably plenty. All right, I'm going to need a white piece now. And, you know, maybe I'll go back and just, let's see, I'm going to use, well, we'll go with Petunia Pop. And there were little flowers in this stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and just do, whoops, and get ink on the whole thing, the corners of this card insert. And maybe we need a couple of leaves. And maybe I can stamp that off a little bit. Now you can hardly see it. Maybe I'll just do it again. There we go. And we'll do that down here. There, that time the Stampin' Off worked. Where's my scrap paper here? Well, I'm going to do it on the edge of this. And I want to do just a little stamped off right there. Okay, so that, and then remember they have these little bitty dots, and they're really worthy. I'm going to actually make this look just a little bit more special by putting these dots on here. So look at the difference between the corners. Those dots make a difference. So I encourage you to use these little special things that are in the stamp sets that are easy just to not use. I don't know. I find that these little details are so worthy, and I'm so glad that they provide them to us in our Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. That's why I love the coordinated stamp sets that we can get with Stampin' Up! Because it's the little things, right? All right, let's go ahead and glue this one inside. And just that little bit of stamping makes this so special. And you still have plenty of room to write. And you know what? For an envelope for this one, just a scrap. But how does that look? So I'm looking to see if you have any questions, if you have comments, and know that these little things, and using one stamp set. So I went to find a stamp set that I thought reminded me of designer series paper that I liked. And then it had something bundled with it in the punch. And, you know, you could just keep going and going. And look at what we are able then to share. We've got this one, and we've got this one. And remember, this was all from one card in the kit. We made these 3 cards. So it took me 2 pages of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. It took, I believe it was 2/3 of the sheet of designer series paper, scrap pieces of the other paper, and I used the punch and the stamp set. I used all of these greetings were in the stamp set itself. I'm going to keep using these sentiments. I'll tell you, I love them. And I had to have 3 additional envelopes. And I was able to make 4 cards. And so can you see how easy it would be to get 27 cards out of 1? Oh, Holly, I'm glad. Yeah, they turned out well, right? I'm very, very happy with this. I can't wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a card box that holds 4 cards, 4 envelopes. And you know what? Maybe I'll need to do that one of these times. I'll just have to come online and show you how to make the box that will hold these. And what a beautiful gift set. And if I really want to pump it up, I could add the other 3 cards and give them 7 cards. Now that's quite a bit. So remember, we have these. And we've got that pretty one, right? So there we go. Now, I have to get to the winners. I bet you're waiting. So from the card drawing, there are 6 people that will be getting free card kits from me. And if I say your name, and I will be contacting you via email if I have your email. Otherwise, I need you to email me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com with your mailing address so I can send the free card kits out. And so the first person is Betty Ahinger, Amy Rayek, and if I don't say your name correctly, I apologize in advance. Sue Ronning, Patricia Murphy, Kim Tanner, and Kathy Janowski. So congratulations to all of you. And I want to thank everybody that added comments to yesterday. It was so much fun reading all your comments, and you guys brought up great things. I will be going back and actually responding to them in writing, but I did get to respond to some of them while we were together. And just a reminder that you can, if you missed yesterday's catalog highlights, you can go back and see the video. It is on the Facebook Plum Crazy Stamping business page. And also the crop that is free for all of you to join me on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time. We'll be doing a mystery card at the beginning, get a little fun in, hopefully get our creative juices flowing so that you can then work on your projects for the rest of the 2-hour period of time after we do that mystery stamping. And the great thing is we're going to be on Zoom, so we'll be able to talk. We'll be able to ask questions, and I'm here to help make stamping easy for you. So once again, I'm Traci Raether, and from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it was my pleasure to share this wonderful paper pumpkin workshop with you today. So take care and happy stamping. Till next time. Bye-bye.